What's up, guys? Today we are here with Falcon Artistry
and Falcon Artistry. She's back.
She's back. Let's start off. I have a serious question.
Ooh.
I like how you
serious.
just call me Falcon Artistry.
Yeah.
Like,
This is Candice.
I am an entity.
You want to do an intro on yourself? Go get it, girl. She's like, what did I get myself into today? No, I actually do have, then we'll get into the fun questions. How did you get started with medical tattooing? I don't know if I know your story.
Yeah, so I started with permanent makeup, and I, like, in 2016. And
Did you have a mentor, or did you just jump into it and figure it out on your own?
unfortunately, you kind of have to figure it out on your own, mostly so I'm from Canada, British Columbia, and there's no regulation on tattooing. There's no licensing, there's nothing. All that you can really do is kind of like make sure you have insurance and a business license and a health inspection, but there's no actual like tattooing rules. So there's a lot of sort of like, you know, like quick courses or whatever, obviously, as there is here. But basically, I did a course that was like a week long at like a school, which is now no longer, you know,
Doesn't exist anymore?
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah. And it was like fully booked out for like months and months and everything for a while. But I did that, and then I just had to kind of like figure it out. And everything in the school, it wasn't really like tattooing. It was like everything was just so like weird and delicate with like, oh, like pick up the gauze with the tweezers and like blah, like just weirdly like kind of like surgical, but like not. And then like it was just, I just had to like throw everything away and start over. And actually, when I came to see you, you were like, you're holding the machine wrong. And I was like, oh boy. So it was nice to actually like have that, you know, instruction from you. And then actually be able to build it. But what's really, really helped me is being an artist and a painter first. Mm-hmm. So when I started in permanent makeup, I did it for a bit. And then I was like, I can't just do brows and stuff forever. Like, I just needed to kind of do something different.
I'm kind of starting to feel that way myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I think you after you do it for so long, you kind of like start to feel like, I need to do something more.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of where I'm starting to feel like, I'm like, you know, I love the permanent makeup and stuff, and obviously I love eyeliner, but it's just like, I do feel like maybe I should do more. I think I'm starting to get out of my slump with it.
Well, and it's kind of like that creativity piece of it too, right? So like, I had always wanted to do nipple tattoos, and so that was kind of my goal from the beginning. And so I wanted to learn permanent makeup, obviously, to like understand regular healing. And this is what I recommend anyway, for people to like understand tattooing first and then add on the layer of like compromised tissue and scars and whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was doing nipple tattoos, and actually this is kind of like, this is a big preamble into how I got into it. So this woman actually called me, and she's like, I have stretch marks all over my body, and like I have them on my butt, hips, thighs, and I have like a couple sort of like traditional like artistic tattoos, but I like, it's not my style. She's like, I don't want like tattooed shorts everywhere, essentially. Yeah. So she's like, could you tattoo skin tone? And I was kind of like, because of course, like, you see so many posts of people like, you know, where it looks like a solid like streak of foundation, or it's like yellow, or it's orange, or it just like, it, you know, doesn't age well and whatever. Yeah. And I was kind of like, okay, well, you do want to learn from people's, you know, missteps, but I also felt like there was a potential there with my artistic background, seeing color, understanding color theory, and just the techniques with that. So initially I had said, like, let me think about it and I'll call you back. And I was like, you know, I'm supposed to help people. And it's one of those things that you kind of do like often in this industry, where you're like, you know, just because someone like is upset or wants it or like says they need it doesn't mean that you should do it. But then like, I feel like we have rules, but some of them are meant to be.
You can push it a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was going to ask you too, before you get too far ahead on it, I was going to ask you what, like explain. So think back to that moment and like, what were you feeling? Was it, oh shit? Like, so you're about to sit down, tattoo this lady, industry is like, don't do that. That's what you hear. You know what I mean? It's gonna look like this, right? You're sit down, you're on that chair. This woman's got them all over. What are you feeling?
Well, so you know me with my forms. You know me with my like coverage on like every aspect. And I'm very upfront with people. And I tell this story a lot. Like my clients always ask, like, how did you get into this? Because it's so niche. It's becoming more widespread, but like a lot of people just haven't even heard of it. So when she called me and I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I do want to help people, and like, I'll give her the option, and I'll be very honest with her. So I called her back, and I was like, there's like some things that I could maybe do, but I'm going to make you sign a crazy form that says this is experimental. I've never done this before. I am like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I literally gave her the craziest form that like most people would be like, this is scary.
I'm not signing that.
Yeah. But she actually she was like, I'll sign whatever you want.
No. Hey, if they're down for the risk.
And I had no portfolio. Like I had nothing. I just had like nipple tattoos and permanent makeup. And so like her trust in me is what actually
makes it more comfortable. I feel like during
it built up like
confidence
my entire
within yourself
business.
too, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like when a client comes to you, it's like it's all about the approach. It's like you come to me and you believe in me. Okay, I believe in me because I know that you're smart. You like you said, you have the background, so it's like you can look at it from a way like your brain starts going. I shut down if it's the opposite. If people come in and they're like super controlling, trying to first off, that's not happening anymore. But if they do try to come in and be that type of personality, it's hard because it's like. My brain, something about the creativity, like just like, and I'm like, but if in that situation, that's like ideal because it's like, okay, I can figure this out for you, and you're willing to put the trust in me to figure it out for you. It's gonna go 1,000 times better.
Yeah, I love hearing like you guys in your rooms and the client goes, "I trust you." I trust you, and I'm like, oh, that's just easy because you just know that you're in the lead. They're gonna help. You're gonna get them and make them look good because they trust you.
Yeah, they're gonna get 10 times better work, in my opinion, if they do.
It's kind of like one of those like. So in my studio, I used to have like a bunch of like body art tattoo artists, and I would say to them, I'm like, isn't it just so funny how much people try to like take control over the design of their tattoo when they aren't an artist, like. Like, and I want it to symbolize this, and each, thing has like, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna name, things specifically because I'm probably like offend people, but there's just things that I'm like, an artist would never, build a piece of art like that, and it doesn't need to be so like ham-fisted symbolic, like in my opinion. Yeah. And. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how much people are like, oh, this is what I want my tattoo to be. But if you looked at a piece of art, like, a painting or whatever, you'd be like, I feel a certain way. I like the way it looks. Why does a tattoo have to be this like separate type of art? Yeah. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. I digress as usual. I got lots of opinions, but yeah, so with this lady, it's funny. I tell my clients about it now because they ask about how I got into it. And I tell them, I'm like, yeah, I said, I'm going to make you sign this crazy form. And my clients now, they're like, I would have signed it too. Oh, and that's awesome. Unfortunately, that's like how desperate people are, right? And that's kind of the fine line where like you don't want to take advantage of someone who's like, I've tried everything. I've tried like creams, lasers.
It's like their last resort.
Exactly.
So yeah. But it needs to be done in the right hands because they're in a vulnerable state. So of course they're going to say yes, like just do it to help me, right?
But that's why it's like so important. And now, like even now with my forms, like they have to physically check off like, like I understand that it'll take like more than one session, and I understand that the price is just for this one session and there will be subsequent fees, and like, and the paler you are, either you're not a candidate or it will just take like possibly more sessions because we have to be so careful and we don't want to go too far. Oh, I just hit that.
That makes sense.
So that is the the huge story behind how I got into it. That was like
That's
my
cool.
first client.
That's nice, having someone trust you.
Yeah. And then from there, I basically said, like, I'm learning from how you heal. And obviously I made some mistakes where I'm kind of like, okay, well, you know, I'll do that differently. But because I was so light-handed and careful and did like different areas of the body and did kind of little tests, it's funny, like her boyfriend came right at the end of the appointment one time, and like all the stretch marks are like so swollen and puffy and red and like raised. And she's like, look, babe, like, doesn't it look so good? And it's funny, it's one of those services where it's like people always look worse. Like, it's not like the rewarding before and after of like brows and eyeliner and lips. Like, it's like they always look worse when they leave. And the amount of people that are like, it looks so good, where I'm like, it doesn't. But his face, I had to like comfort him. I had to like talk him down because he was like,
he's like, what did you do to yourself?
Yeah, he was like,
no, I get you. We have some like husbands come in too, and they just do that with permanent makeup, and we're like, it's okay, it's gonna heal,
or
it's
the
gonna
complete
soft.
opposite. They're like, it looks so great. I'm like, no, it doesn't. She has black and blue eyes. You are lying to her. Why would you lie? Like,
oh my god.
One thing that was like really amazing. So for you guys that don't know, I actually traveled up to Vancouver and visited Candice because that's how badass she is, for a training class, a hands-on training class, and she actually does something, you know, and it's one of those things you don't know unless you know. And it's like, it makes so much sense that I would think that I would have caught it, but without you physically saying it, I'm like, when you say it, I'm like, oh yeah, of course.
I'm like curious what you're gonna say.
So when right. So say if somebody has like I don't know if this elbow's a knee is a good example. So like if they're standing up versus if they're sitting down and their knee is bent, and it changes colors, right? So that to me was like, well, of course, like I could see understand, obviously, that thought along the way, and hopefully not that's what's so cool about not having to figure it out on your own, right? Like you get a mentor in something that specializes in something for that reason. Because look, I just skipped all those steps, those thoughts that I would have had to figure out on my own, to bam, I went through all those thoughts and boop, I'm here already, because she was like, hey, you know, the skin is different, it stretches, and then that scar, for instance, changes.
Yeah, which because you like obviously you know that until someone says it out, you're like, yeah, okay, like.
And then when she comes in and like says it, it just hits different. And it's like, oh shit, like good thing you said that, because I could see somebody messing up very easily on that, right? It's like, we know, but it's like, but do you? Like, is it connecting?
That's what I call accordion skin.
Yes.
And so I like to use that sort of metaphor where when the skin is all like folded together like an accordion with all the folds, the skin usually looks darker because it's all like squished together. So especially with somebody that has darker skin, if they're standing, then the knee is like, you know, the skin isn't stretched as much, right? So the knee looks darker. But then when the knee is bent, the skin stretches like an accordion, and then the pigmentation spreads out and looks lighter. And so there's like a bunch of parts on the body that I'm like, you got to be really careful, because what color are you matching? Are you matching it when they're standing, or are you matching it when the knee is bent?
That would be my next question for you, because that's how do you...
So which one? How do you choose?
Yeah.
So I have all these little, and I think that's one of the major things about camo tattooing is people are like, oh, like, look at this exact match. And I'm always like, it's not about the exact match. Yeah. It's about, and I think that's one of the things that is hard for people to kind of wrap their head around coming from permanent makeup, is like, you know, oh, for redheads, we generally use this, you know, and there's some things to consider, of course, with like, you know, skin type and skin tone and everything, but it's fairly like, you know, the canvas isn't moving too crazy. Right. And it's like you kind of get into a rhythm, and it becomes like less, I guess, you know, intense thinking that you would have to do with camo. So it's about like, what is the color that you're tattooing over? Is it a scar or a stretch mark? There's texture with that. There's background color with that. A scar has no color in it, so you can't just start with an exact match. It's going to be probably too ash when it heals, or too light. You can't just dilute it away if you're like trying to be careful, because dilution usually makes it look warmer. That's why we're seeing a lot of orange results And then, of course, depending on the place on the body, there's also parts of the body that the skin is pulled tighter over. And when you tattoo it, it'll go like really dark. And you have to be careful with your pressure, like shoulders and hips.
Yeah.
And even just the body position of the person you're tattooing. Is the skin stretched super tight over like a hip bone with the way they're laying or whatever? Or even just the way they're laying, like if the stretch marks are on the lower back and they're laying on their stomach, usually because of that, once again, accordion skin, you can't really see the stretch marks anymore because of the arched back.
Yeah.
So tattooing them on their side, like I go over all those
There's so
details.
much to think about.
Oh,
Yeah, so many little things.
And the mapping, because when you map somebody standing, when they lay down, the skin stretches a different way. All of a sudden, the marks look a lot wider, but you don't want to go too crazy because, of course, when the skin contracts again, it's going to look too dark. So I see a lot of these things coming up in the Facebook groups. And they're like, well, what inks do you use? And I'm like, that's not even, that's not even like.
It's like you can't even begin to answer their question. It's, like the Facebook groups get overwhelming because even, and I ain't even to that extent, but it's like some of this stuff, it's like you can't, I literally physically can't explain that to you through writing. It's like something you have to see, you have to be in. Like it's,
Yeah, so here's our training. No.
Slide
in there
so
like.
If you're interested, Candice has a class coming up. Do you know the dates of those again? I don't remember. We have them on the calendar. I know that.
Yes, it's April are the next dates, and I do the nipple course and the camo course back to back, so people can take both if they want, but they are not a combined course because I feel like they do need their own individual instruction.
Yeah.
When you see courses where it's like we go over everything, we got SMP, we got we got lips, we got dry needling, we got whatever it is, just like this crazy course, and it's like all in a weekend. I'm like, how could you possibly?
I'm going to sign up. People want them, and I'm like, wait a second, you know you can't physically retain all that information, and even the information they're going to give you is going to be this much. On each little thing, because you're not gonna. You need to dive deep, especially into something like this. You need to take it serious, dive deep, because you're working with vulnerable people in some cases too, and it's like don't take advantage of the situation. Actually know your shit. Like permanent makeup's one thing. That's a whole nother beast of you. You really got to take that serious.
Well, the thing is if you are good at what you do, and you know what you're doing, and you're not constantly having people come in where you're kind of like, oh, I wasn't taught this, or what do I do with that? What I try to teach people is like, how do you look at something critically so that when all of these unique cases come in, you're kind of following that mentality rather than like sort of like, oh, I always use, these inks and I do, this, you need to kind of treat it more customized and look at things as an artist as opposed to just kind of like, oh, well, we were taught to always do this.
I did it on this person that way, so I do it that way again on this person. It's like, that don't work like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think like one of the things actually that I learned through you coming to Vancouver and taking my course was I taught it all in person. And it was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was like 4 straight days.
And my poor puppy passed away too. On top of it, not an excuse, but with the amount of information that was in that class and dealing with that, girl, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't tell you. I could tell you a couple things. But for the most part, it was just like gone over my head. But not obviously it was because I was dealing with something too. But her courses are packed. But you also, real quick. Because you do a very good job. You don't just like hand this course over to people. Like she screens you guys.
Yeah, she makes sure you know what you're doing before you leave.
Yeah, there ain't no BS, and she's not letting you in. The money don't matter.
I could make so much more money if I just took everybody.
Yeah,
because there's so many people that are like, I'm a nurse. I want to learn this. Like, I don't want to learn permanent makeup first. Like, I just want to go straight into this. I'm like, you have to know how to tattoo.
Yeah,
it's too much to be. And I've taken courses. Like, I took a camo course where. Because I don't assume that I know everything, and I do want to see like other techniques, and I want to see like how I could be better, or also like just I think we should always be learning.
Absolutely.
And the course was like, you don't have to know how to tattoo, and then there was like me in there, and then somebody that kind of had been tattooing for like a year, and then somebody that was like trying to put their machine together, and it was over Zoom because it was COVID. And
it was over Zoom too? Oh my goodness.
I mean, for me, because I was like, I'm here for the theory.
That's
like,
true.
You know,
but
for them, I was kind of like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
that's kind of scary, right? And even if you do take my course, there's going to be things that come up that you're kind of like, okay, what about this? And I do have that support and everything. But yeah, it's the way I structured it after you took it is it's like a hybrid. So there's like that online curriculum first so that you can kind of like absorb it and kind of like do it at your own pace, rewind.
And maybe I was going to say, go back and like watch it again. And girl, by the end of mixing those colors and making those charts, I was like, I am fucking dead. Like, I don't even know, I can't even tell you what's even happening right now.
I know. And that's the thing too, is like, it was a lot for me. And because I was going over every single slide and I was like, oh, well, I already have the slides. I'll just put it online. But then I was like, of course, I like videoed myself talking over each slide and everything too. So then it took me like months to put that piece online.
Well, and we were an intro, right? Like so this was her first, like,
I was
it your first
workshopping
time in there running through it and like figuring it out, which was amazing because I'm pretty sure you gave us a little discount.
I did.
Because it was like her first run through, so we were getting all this information, so it was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I got a free cheaper. I'm just kidding. But it's like, you know, that's such great pack, like just the information that was there. So it's not bad. Like, don't take it as that, but it's like you definitely got to be ready for it. Because I'm like, I feel like I come from a pretty fucking solid foundation, and I'm like, I feel like I'm kind of smart. It's like one of my things that I do kind of like puff my feathers on. I'm like, going in there, you got to just be ready for it because it's.
Yeah, and obviously you were distracted.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to
it was nothing
take
on
that
Candice,
in.
it was all me.
Yeah.
It's basically like you're learning a whole new aspect. And it's.
And if you don't have that foundation, you have to have it. Yeah, you have to have it.
It's not fair to the other people in the course or to you if you don't know how to tattoo. Because I can't stop everything and be like, okay, so
this is called a nipple. Pun intended.
Well, hopefully they know that.
I was talking about the nipple on my machine, not those nipples.
Oh.
That's why I was laughing so hard because I was like, you think about talking about a booby nipple?
Okay, I'm glad you clarified. I'm
I did too, though.
I'm like, however, in the nipple course, I do go over anatomy.
She does. Okay, we gotta wrap this up, but I want to end with some fun.
Okay.
I want to ask her a couple fun questions.
Okay.
Some of our questions that I asked you, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So
are these like dating questions?
I mean, they should be. They should be on my talk.
You should have done dating ones for me. We should do a dating episode.
That's why I was asking him.
Oh boy,
I just got it out. I just didn't tell you that. He's over there like, what's happening? Anyways, so Candice, if you had a time machine, would you use it? Don't tell me anything other. Just would you use it?
Sure.
Okay. Where are you going?
Okay, this is why I want prepared.
No, that's what makes it so fun.
No, yeah, just put it on the spot.
You know what? At the same time, I don't really feel like I have regrets. So I don't know. Like,
it could be anything. Do you want to just see something?
Like I'm just like a weird like little voyeur. Like I'm just peeking.
Yeah, like a time machine
Maybe I'm just confirming a historical fact.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it true?
Okay. So where would you go?
What?
Where'd you go?
Where?
I don't know.
Which one? Pick one.
What's the first thing that came to mind?
I know.
Oh God, I don't know.
You want to hear ours?
Yes, please. Please take me out of the situation.
Mine is, well, first off, she makes me feel bad because she's like, I'm gonna go see my grandpa, and I'm like, oh, you're so sweet, and I'm over here, me. I want to go see the dinosaurs.
It's so funny how people internalize that question though. It's interesting because I get all emotional, and she's like, I'm gonna go with T-Rexes, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
that is so funny.
See if the moon landing was real.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Is this also like a teleporter machine?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm on the moon now.
Yes.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the flag really waving? I don't know. Just kidding. So yours? Where are we going?
Oh my God! I thought you had moved on.
No, we need to know.
Waiting.
It's interesting.
Okay, well now I feel like I need to have like a heartfelt or like adventurous question. I don't know. I kind of would want to go in the future.
Oh,
I did ask that. I was like, are we going forward or back?
Yeah, it could be wherever, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
In the future.
I would love to
see from the future.
But then I think like I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily want to like
She's too much of a thinker.
I know. I can't with this.
Okay, next question.
All right, next
She's
one.
going everywhere.
Type A. Yeah, like I need to make a plan. I need to research.
Yeah, we'll put you in the time machine and press and just go.
Sheila's is like,
yeah.
bing, 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 bing.
Let's see what Candice's hair in the time machine.
Oh my God.
Okay, next one.
Okay, so Sasha and I are having a very important dinner.
Oh God.
And
very
we're able
important.
to invite 3 people. Sasha's not
I
gonna
really
afford
should have.
one.
I should have studied for this interview.
She got a 4th guest, but that's not allowed. So 3 people. Who are you? Anybody in the entire celebrities, hit, dead, living, whatever. 3 people. Who are you inviting to your dinner party? It's a dinner party.
It's a party.
Oh.
This is great. I gotta do this with
It's
everybody.
okay. First thing that comes to mind.
You're like, we're actually not even here for your answers. We're here for your agony. I'm like, oh God. Oh.
Candice likes to see everything like written out,
Yeah,
prepared.
she likes list on top of list.
I do.
Do you want to hear ours again? They could join our dinner party if you want.
I know. I'm like, okay, you. No. I'm like, oh.
No, to hear me and Amber's answers, you have to go to our other
Oh yeah.
episode
there
and
you
go watch it.
Okay, yeah, little
Yeah.
plug.
You got one little sneak peek. That's it.
Oh. I think it would probably depend on my
No.
mood.
I need 3 names in 10 seconds.
Oh my God. Okay. Chelsea Handler.
Okay.
Jim Carrey.
Yo, that's a good one.
Oh my God. Dolly Parton.
Oh, why did I think of that one?
That's a good one.
Oh, thank God.
That's a good one. I think
I'm sweating.
Sweating. That was fun though, huh? Wasn't that so
Yeah.
much
Is it just us? They're like, who are you? I'm like, hey, I traveled in time. Ellie Mae.
To a dinner party.
Ours were kind of
No, they have to go listen.
interesting. Oh yeah, I better not
Don't say the
anything.
names.
Okay, well now it's a surprise for you too.
Yep.
I guess you gotta go listen to
Yeah,
that.
I gotta research for.
Oh my God, this is so much fun. Candice,
Yeah.
did you have fun? Isn't this fun?
I did, yeah. It
Yeah.
got a little, intense at the end.
It's just a fun way to get to know
let's stick
you.
to what I know, okay? Let's
Yeah.
just keep it to camo.
Oh my gosh, don't ask her the song question, because
Oh no.
Or should
We'll
we?
be here another 10
yeah, should we?
Okay, only if you can do it quick.
I don't know.
If you're
My eyes watering.
Oh my
My eye is watering. I'm like freaking out.
If you walk into a room, this is the last one. Walking into a room, what song? Every single time you walk into that room, the same song has to play. What song is playing when you walk into that room?
I know these are supposed to be fun.
Yeah, no, it's so funny
I
because
don't
you're
have
like
fun. No.
free.
Okay.
Oh
It's
my
even better
god.
because it is her, because she's so like, okay, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are we talking about, Candice? She's like,
Yeah.
you don't have any ideas? Thought you had this written down.
Ugh.
I just bought you 10 seconds. Come on.
I know. I was literally thinking that. I was like, okay, while she's talking, I need to.
That was weird. Oh my god.
Maybe that's my song.
Yeah, that's her song.
What the heck? At the same time.
This happened a lot.
Okay.
lately.
Let's do Crazy in Love because I'm gonna be like stomping in at the intro part of it. It's just the beginning.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
No
okay.
Beyonce in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Back to on a serious note. I think we should put Candice's, because by the time this drops, Candice's, her class will be kind of like, we'll probably do a little email blast and stuff.
Yeah.
So we can drop on the bottom of this episode, right?
In the description area. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A link to like get more info on Candice's classes if you guys are interested in signing up. She'll be here in Las Vegas at Inspired by Miss Amber Red.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Sasha, comment, like, subscribe, share. What's the other ones?
Don't forget to like, comment, share,
subscribe.
I don't know. That's what
Yeah.
Kanye says.
Yeah. I don't know.
Follow.
I'm new at the ending, so I'll catch on eventually.
Yeah, and we'll put all of our tags too. So if you guys
Yeah.
have any questions for Candice, hit her up, and she's always there to help you guys. So thank you,
Thanks
Candice,
for having
joining
me.
us.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Candice.
That was awesome.
Bye, guys.
Woo!